Hello again, everybody. This is John Lazarczyk, STEM coordinator at Imperial County Office of Education, coming to you from beautiful El Centro, California. And I'm in my front yard because today I want to share with you guys a protocol that I was introduced to a while back called I Notice, I Wonder, It Reminds Me of. So this one is actually a part of a bit.ly. So I have a bit.ly here because I'm going to share some resources. And let's start. So I Notice, I Wonder, It Reminds Me of was is from a group called Beatles Projectorg. And this particular one, there's a link right there, is about how to get kids and adults and anyone outside to become better observers. So my first question is, who are exceptional observers? Could it be a detective, an astronomer, or maybe your brother or your sister or your parents? Maybe some of them are good observers, right? So a fictional character called Sherlock Holmes said, I see no more than you, but I've trained myself to notice what I see. And that's what I love about this protocol, is that it really helps to focus on things, natural objects, and look at them in a way you've never looked at them before. So we're going to start by, I want you to go outside like I am right now, and I want you to pick up a natural object. So the one that I chose is this flower right here. That's my natural object, right? So go pick up a natural object, and then I want you to begin with the I notice piece. And just know that when you begin a sentence with I notice, that you know you're making an observation. An example would be, I notice the leaf is yellowish green in color and is oval shaped. So I notice that this object is purplish in color and has a really long stem. So those are my noticing. So take a minute and observe your object and begin some sentences with the words I notice. And I want you to partner up with a brother or a sister, or maybe your mom and dad, and share as many noticings of the object as you can for 1 minute. You can pause the video when you do this, and then I want you to switch roles so that the other person shares their observations and their noticings of their object. Okay. So once you've done that, now I want you to start asking yourself some questions. What do you wonder about this object? Right? I wonder, why is this the color purple? Why is the stem on this flower or this plant so long? Why is the stem green? Why is it looking like it's starting to get a little wilted, right? So ask yourself some questions, do some wonderings, and then partner up with somebody, and I want you to share your questions that you have about your object for 1 minute. You can pause the video, okay? And lastly, I want you to make a connection with what the object might look like, maybe an experience you've had, or some information that you know. So when you can say, this reminds me of, then you are starting to make a connection. So I'm going to use my example here of, this reminds me of growing up in the state of Wisconsin, where we had a lot of violets growing in our yard when I was a kid. And this reminds me of a violet, mainly because of the color. But also we had cattails in Wisconsin, and the stem reminds me of a cattail. And it also reminds me of going to my grandmother's house, because my grandmother lived on 80 acres, and we just had a blast as kids exploring and finding all kinds of stuff in nature, right? So what I want you to do is partner up, share your connections with your partner for 1 minute, and then we'll wrap it up when we come back. Okay, lastly, last question I want to ask you, did you learn anything that surprised you about your object? Was there anything about your object that you had never seen before? I know when I first did this, again, when I looked at a tree, and in my 56 years, I've passed by millions of trees, but I saw this tree in particular because I did the I notice, I wonder, it reminds me of protocol. So hope you had fun. Another thing you could do right now is just go out to find another object in your front or backyard and do the I notice, I wonder, it reminds me of protocol, because I want everyone to be really good observers of nature, and this is one protocol that will help you out. Until next time, this is John Lazarzik, ICOE, STEM coordinator. Take care.